FCCLA. I'm Bella Baker, your state FCCLA president, and we're so excited to introduce you to this year's State Executive Council and the incredible advisors who help support us behind the scenes. We wanted to keep it real with you and let you get to know us a little bit better, not just our titles, but who we are and what we're passionate about, and maybe even a few fun facts along the way. That being said, it's time to meet the team.
My name is Amy Coleman from Atlanta, Missouri, and a fun fact about me is that I have 4 kids and I teach in the school that I went to high school in.
My name is Bella Baker. I'm from the Atlanta FCCLA, and a fun fact about me is that I go to high school at the same place that my great-grandpa did.
Okay, I am Gavin Osborne from East Carter High School, and my favorite food is seafood.
My name is Amanda Smith. I'm also from East Carter High School. And a fun fact is that this will be my 20th year teaching.
My name is Maya Ailey. I'm from Maryville, Missouri, and a fun fact about me is I only had 9.5 fingers for like 3 hours.
I am Marcy Behrens. I am Maya's advisor at Northwest Technical School. And a fun fact about myself is that I've been stung by a jellyfish in the face.
My name is Beth Beatty. I'm from Montgomery City. And a fun fact about myself is that I was a state officer when I was your age.
My name's Olivia Spurgeon. I'm from Montgomery City, and a fun fact about myself is outside of FCCLA, I show steers in the fair.
I am Crystal Bohr from Waynesville, Missouri, and a fun fact is that I graduated from Purdue University, and while I was at Purdue University my senior year, I was FCCLA president.
Hello, I am Faith Bohr. I am from Waynesville, Missouri, and a fun fact about myself is I used to do pageants for rodeos.
My name is Shayna Tillman. I'm from Kennett, Missouri, and I have a cosmetology license, and I taught 2nd grade.
Hi, my name is Corlin Lynn, and I'm from Kennett, Missouri, and a fun fact about me is that I share the same hometown as Cheryl Crow.
My name is Megan Hurst. I'm from Willow Springs, Missouri, but I teach at Thayer. And a fun fact about me is I like to travel.
I'm Reese Pender, and I go to school at Thayer. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a Swiftie, and I've been to see Taylor twice now.
I'm Amy Harkey. I'm from Purdy, Missouri. And a fun fact about myself is I have 5 grandsons.
My name is Paul Alvarez. I'm also from Purdy, and my fun fact is I love Harry Potter.
My name is Lydia Jones, and I'm from Osceola, Missouri, and a fun fact about me is I was a vegetarian for 7 years.
Okay, so I'm Erin Straw. I'm Lydia's advisor, and fun fact about me is that I own a tortoise, ducks, geese, chicken, cats, and dogs, and sometimes I like them better than my students.
My name is Blake Reed from Belton High School, and a fun fact about myself is I spent 3.5 years working in a maximum security prison before teaching.
My name's Oren. I'm from Belton High School, and a fun fact about myself is I do a lot of handiwork, like construction, and I like fixing stuff.
My name is Molly Kennebeck. I'm from Chillicothe, Missouri, and a fun fact is that I've been a competitive dancer since preschool.
I'm Molly's advisor, Christy Christie. Fun fact about me is I have the same first and last name.
I support Ms. Coleman through stressful moments by listening to her feelings and validate them. We also kind of like to go over events after it happens and kind of digest them together and go through them and work through what happened and what we can do better. So I think just talking and going through things like that is how I support her.
I feel like I support Bella through stressful moments by just kind of trying to meet physical needs. Sometimes it's bringing her a snack, giving her encouraging words throughout the day, and also just trying to keep both of us grounded in our why are we doing this, where's our worth, whether we do a great job or not as great a job as we'd hoped. That's honestly what defines us in one particular moment.
So I'm going to say honestly, sometimes whenever we are trying to get prepared for something, trying to get ready for something, sometimes we can get a little bit overwhelmed. And sometimes I just have to, I guess, like kind of remind myself and also Miss Smith that like it will be okay, and we just kind of have to take a step back and relax on things because we are both like a little bit perfectionist and we want everything to be perfect, and we just have to remember to just kind of take a second to stop and breathe.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we're really good at checking on each other. Like if we're working on something, trying to make sure that it's perfect because we like to be perfect. Um, besides just like we often like we are like, hey, how's it going? Like where are you at? Like we check on each other often.
Yeah.
That works out well.
How I support Miss Burns in stressful moments is normally I'll come into her classroom and she'll have papers all over her desk. And I can see that she's stressed out. And so I'll be like, what's going on? And she'll tell me. And I'll be like, okay, what do you want me to do? So normally I'll clean up her desk, or one time I like totally redid her office so that she would have a space to work and a clean space to have her mind.
When Maya is stressed out, I do a lot of, I can tell because she gets a little flustered, on the verge of tears. So there's a lot of just comforting, like, we can do this, you've got this. So positive encouragement, there's a lot of positive encouragement. But it does go both ways. I feel like just even having her present, that helps a lot, is because I just know I can depend on her to just do what she needs to do.
I would say we keep it lighthearted by joking with each other and being spicy with each other.
You're spicy. And I think we are brutally honest with each other, and we are there to pick each other up and to balance each other for all the stuff we have to do.
Well, fun fact is daughter, mother. So, I don't know. I think we've just always been there for each other, just always guiding, and like we do everything together.
I agree. I think most of the times when we're stressed or we're going through something, honestly, just listening to each other. Long car rides are our talking time. And so when we have something going on, I think the biggest thing is that we just talk and we listen, not always just giving each other solutions, but just having someone to talk to.
Caffeine. Many trips to Starbucks.
Lots of caffeine.
Yes.
I think for me, it's just being there as a president of our chapter and state officer anytime, anything she needs, and helping her out.
I like to think it's like I maintain like a positive like classroom environment and like a professional relationship with her so that way she can grow but also take control of a situation if she needs to, but knows she has my support if she needs it.
I would say that we talk about them and we try to come up with a solution together. Communication is usually the answer to that.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that, I think our communication is, I think it's in a different level. I think me and my advisor are closer than most advisors would be with people. I think I've been with her for the last 3 years. I've been an officer with her, and I've really enjoyed it. And she encouraged me to be a state officer. So yeah.
Miss Strauss supports me by taking me to get coffee, and she also gives me a lot of snacks and lets me sleep in her classroom.
She's not supposed to tell people that I let her sleep in my classroom, but I do. And yes, coffee is it's a big care thing for both of us. We go there a lot, order a lot, and then we talk over coffee, which is great. So yeah, we support each other that way through coffee.
Think the easiest way that I've been able to support Oren through stressful moments is to just kind of listen and wait for until he's ready to give him advice.
I keep making fun of him until he laughs, and then once he laughs, I start supporting him.
Me and Miss Christie, we kind of build off of each other's sarcasm, but with Christie's sarcasm, it's not always obvious, so that's really how we support each other.
Yes, I have to tell Molly when I'm being sarcastic and not being honest.
That's a great question. Leadership means a lot to me this year just because of this position. I'm stepping into a new role as state president. It's a huge responsibility. Leadership means to me taking care of everyone's opinions and kind of compiling them and making a decision and hearing everybody out. I've been surrounded around leadership my whole life, and I hope to lead and take this role and make it into something that is great this year and take after all of the presidents after me and all of the officers and take from their advice and their great leadership and hopefully form it into a great year.
Leadership to me means that you put others' needs before your own, that you are the person who is able to basically show a group a way. You're sort of an advisor, you're a friend, you're a helper, and you're able to basically serve other people. As a leader, it's your responsibility to make sure that other people can get things done.
Leadership to me means going the extra mile and making sure that everyone's voice and opinion is heard and valued, also while putting in my input, but trying to do it in a kind and humble way.
When I think leadership, I think of someone who inspires others to be the best versions of themselves and pushes others to be the best person that they can be.
Leadership is a broad variety of things to me. I think it's so cool that it can be whatever you make it. It can be putting others before yourself, or just going out and doing things that would originally make you nervous, or just stepping out of your comfort zone.
Determination and the goal to just keep going and keep going for the best that we can possibly do.
To me, leadership means being someone that you can trust, learn from, and follow.
Leadership to me this year is different since I'm in a leadership position representing my region. Leadership means encouraging others and helping people find their way into FCCLA and finding their space in FCCLA.
Leadership to me means inspiring others through my actions and leading as a role model.
Leadership means taking charge and also being a part of something and leading it into the future to where everything becomes whole and everything comes out to what it's destined to be.
Leadership to me means having the confidence in yourself to push others to succeed for a common goal.
I would say the best advice that I've ever received and advice that I would give to students is to surround yourself with things that grow, whether that be family, friends, an organization, or Missouri FCCLA is always growing and expanding. So just surrounding yourself with people that will bring you up and surrounding yourself with people that will make you better and a better person.
So if a member told me that they were nervous to lead, I would just tell them that other people are nervous to be there. Other people are nervous to lead too. Other people are nervous to even follow a little bit. And so I think that the nervousness, honestly, is super normal. And I would say that it's just really important to know that there is so much good that comes out of leading. And I think whenever you recognize how much you can do for people, then it becomes a lot easier to kind of work through your fears and work through your jitters and be able to do things to improve your community.
I would say go for it. Even, I think it was last year, I ran for an office position and I didn't get it. But I learned, I think, so much more in that loss and like the growth that I developed than winning and getting an officer position could teach me. I mean, I can't say that totally because I just started this officer position. But even if you don't get the position, it's still an amazing opportunity. And then with the position, there's so many opportunities to truly impact this amazing organization.
To be super involved, just to do it, because I remember being super nervous to lead too, and being super nervous to run for a regional office, and it turned out all right. We all lived.
I would personally say to anyone who is nervous about stepping out is to just do it. Just do whatever you've been thinking about not doing, or not even regretting something that you've made a mistake on or something like that, because mistakes help you learn and your mistakes help you grow for later experiences, and just taking the next step is always the best option.
Oh, that's definitely a good question, but my big thing is like you have to have faith in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to try and you're never going to go further in what you want to do.
I would say do your best and just embrace every moment, big or small.
People who are nervous to lead, I think, just need encouragement. I think leading is scary, even if you're used to it. I think the advice I'd give to them would be to try new things. Uh, don't be scared because you never know what can happen.
I would tell them it's okay to be nervous, but make sure to do the things you're afraid to do because that's often the way you grow the most.
The only person you are destined to be is who you decide to be. So if you want to be a leader, you should try no matter what.
Take the leap of faith. There are so many opportunities in FCCLA, and just taking that leap of faith will allow you to step out of your comfort zone and just fully experience the magic.
Oh my gosh, I have a really good one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this just happened to me recently, and when my advisor hears this interview, she's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I walked out of state officer interviews with the nominating committee, and I looked down and I realized my pantyhose had a hole in the back, a big rip. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the most important interview of my life, and I have a huge rip in my pantyhose. But it was a blooper moment, and I discovered that I created the rip while I was walking back to my hotel room. None of the interviews, none of the nominating committee even saw it, but it was a silly blooper moment, and yeah, I've had a lot of blooper moments in FCCLA, but they just have created fun memories that I'm super happy to have.
Okay, so a blooper moment I probably had for FCCLA was actually forgetting my note cards to a competition. So I was doing a star event and I had completely forgot my note cards and I left them back at the school. And so I had to compete that day. And so what I did is I found the nearest printer that I could get to, and then I printed out my speech, and then I made my notes all over again, and honestly, they were pretty janky, but you know what? It kind of worked, and I feel like I did pretty good. I didn't place, but honestly, I think that if I had prepared better, then I could have avoided that blooper and I could have placed and done better.
A blooper moment in FCCLA that still makes me laugh would have to be my first year doing my star event at state. I did hospitality, tourism, and recreation, and so I made a small business like selling cupcakes. And then in my presentation, I actually had cupcakes that I set out. But when I was setting them out, I got icing all over my fingers. So I'm setting up my display with icing all over my hand. And then I was like, I'm all set up. And I had icing covering my hands. And they're like, okay, you can step out. And I remember having to stand there and lick icing off my fingers before I went and presented.
So like I said, I was really nervous to run for regional office, and I went up there and I gave my speech, and I was stuttering because it was the first speech I'd ever given in front of that many people. Forgot an entire paragraph of the 4. There were only 4. A whole paragraph.
Blooper moment. I think my funniest moment or blooper moment is one of my friends from my chapter got so many ribbons on her name tag that she was tripping over it the whole conference, and it was so funny because every step she took, she either had to carry it on her shoulder or she just had to make sure she didn't trip over it the whole time. It was so funny.
For me, at our last meeting, it was a later meeting at night during SLC. Me and a few of my roommates wore pajamas instead of official dress, and that was pretty funny.
Right before our first rehearsal, I thought we could go change, and so I came back in my PJs with everyone in still official dress.
When me and my friends sophomore year got locked out of our room for about 2 hours because we all lost our keys.
Probably whenever my parlay team didn't understand parliamentary procedure, so we had to kick each other under the table to say point of order and stuff.
So me, Gavin, and Pablo at SLC, we created a pillow fort with the couch. That was fun.
At the time, it did not make anybody laugh, but at Seattle, the last day of our trip, I took Benadryl before I went to bed and did not wake up to my alarms and almost missed our flight.
Bella has come to SCCLA with a lot of prior experience, and so she's a pretty confident speaker ahead of SCCLA. but it's been fun to see her take her leadership skills into a new arena, reach new audiences, and really encourage other members and younger members to kind of find their voice and step out and speak out with FCCLA.
Gavin has always been a really good leader. Like, he's just great at being a leader. But I think the thing that I've seen the most growth with is how objective he is at looking at everybody's point of view instead of just his own. Like, he tries to see whatever's being discussed. Like, he tries to look at everything very objectively.
Okay, so as a leader, Maya has really stepped up, I would say. She's become way more confident in her leadership abilities. She's always been super passionate about facts. Like, it's just kind of her happy place. And so letting her kind of flourish in this and being able to support her in that is kind of where the biggest growth has happened, is just allowing her to kind of do her thing and take advantage of all those opportunities that are available to her.
My kiddo is loud and vivacious when you know her. But whenever she first enters a room with new people, she's pretty quiet. So I've seen her develop confidence in herself and in her abilities to speak in front of others. That is pretty awesome to watch.
I've seen my officer grow in her confidence level and her level of creativity.
I would say confidence. She was kind of shy and she's really outgrown and I come out of her shell and developed more leadership skills than I've ever seen.
I would say just her personal growth and like her confidence in herself, like doing the state officer process was out of her comfort zone. And again, I had never had anybody do it before, so it was a learning curve for me too. But like, she trusted me and herself enough to like step outside of her comfort zone and try it, and she's done really well.
So Pablo came in piggybacking on his two older sisters who were in FCCLA. One of them was an officer for me. And so to watch him grow from being a young kid, I would say, into a leader has been really good. He surprised me last year in wanting to run for state office. He also surprised me in some of his creative ideas. He helped with our Red Ribbon Week, and for him to come up with some of the creative things that we did each day, I was shocked.
So Lydia has grown in tremendous ways. She was always a great speaker, but now she is an excellent speaker. She has no problem talking to others. She has no problem contacting businesses and just promoting FCCLA as a whole. But honestly, her entire demeanor has changed. She has just really just come out of her shell, I guess is what I want to say.
Oh, there's so many. I think the biggest way that I have seen Oren grow as a leader is his ability to go from being in the background to being one of the forefront voices, not only in the higher offices that he holds, but mainly in his chapter, and being one that they look to actually lead them.
Molly's grown in her communication skills, being able to communicate with her peers and help motivate them to be active leaders.
Students gain a ton of experiences in FCCLA. I feel like a lot of my members maybe haven't traveled or even gotten outside of our small town. So new experiences, meeting new people, finding success in maybe a way that they haven't seen it before. If maybe a lot of students find success on a court or an athletic endeavor, and FCCLA offers a broad range for all students to be successful.
I think that students gain the most, of course, their leadership skills, but probably communication skills, like learning how to actually let their voice be heard in a positive way.
I mean, the confidence is a big thing. I really think confidence is kind of key in a lot of things. If kids take advantage of the opportunities that are there, it doesn't have to be all of the opportunities, just because there's so much, it can be a little overwhelming for kids, and I think that happens to a lot of kids. There's just a lot happening at once. But for kids to just take advantage of some of those opportunities, they can build confidence to go and do what they're passionate about. It doesn't necessarily have to be FCCLA, but they can gain some of the confidence that they need to take the steps that they need to take in other areas of their life.
Opportunities. I think that SCCLA gives you a place to jump in and to take on as much as you'd like to. And it's diverse in the opportunities that it has, which hits our diverse populations that we live with.
I think FCCLA is unique in that it allows them to grow their leadership skills, but it also allows them to grow like their humanity. I think with FCCLA, they see the importance of watching others grow as well. So they are sharing their leadership.
Life skills in general, um, things that they need to be successful as students, but also outside of school and workplace and home life and just as a person in general.
I would say what they gain most is the ability and the skills they need to advocate for themselves and community needs. How to identify those and how to carry them out, like give a voice for themselves and others to make a difference.
I think students gain most, and we always say leadership skills, but I think it goes beyond just leading. I think it is communication skills. They develop their like self-confidence, and it enables them to be able to speak to adults and their peers. And I think that's why FCCLA is great.
Leadership. I think leadership is the number one thing. I see my students grow in so many ways from FCCLA. When they join, they come out of their shell. We're doing star events. We're doing show me skills. We are doing community service. We're contacting people within the community. They work for every single opportunity that they get, and it is all based on leadership for me. It's great.
I think what students gain the most is the ability to see themselves in the futures that they want, whether that be the families that they've always wanted to have but didn't, or the families that they do have and want to continue, and the ability to grow into adults that create that reality for themselves.
Confidence.